really appreciated the input, and I'm telling you, man, I can't say enough positive things about Miguel and what he's been like for me, and I'm sure Freddie would tell you the same thing. So
it's kind of nice to have a champion like that. And you've worked with some top-level people. GSP is a consummate professional and champion.
Right.
But they kind of raised the bar of everybody around them, it seems. And Ruslan seems very attuned to that. He had that experience with Manny, and I imagine he's having the same experience with Cotto. For you, I was going to, speaking of GSP, and Ruslan, he's decided to do VADA testing, both of them, and they've kind of either been ignored or, in the GSP's case, kind of vilified. And I'm not going to make you have to validate VADA or not. I've done that on my own in countless articles. But for you as a strength coach, how good is it to kind of, because you and I both know that they have very high standards and they're World Anti-Doping Agency approved. Is that nice to have that kind of stamp of approval on your work?
Well, yeah, I mean, it is for a lot of reasons, because, number one, if you guys are taking this kind of stuff, I won't work with them. I mean, anybody that knows me knows that. I don't want anything to do with it, and there's too many of the trainers that are in boxing and are in MMA that are pushing it, and I don't know what the percentage is, but it's really high. And most of the people aren't testing for HGH, so that goes, unaccounted for. And now that they've legalized, if your testosterone falls below a certain level, they're making it legal to take it by prescription. It makes it an even tougher issue. But, it's really hard because George was here last week, and it's really hard to sit there and listen to these people saying he's taken steroids or done this or done that. I mean, it's completely false. This guy is a complete professional. He's very strict on, especially when camp comes, about what he's eating, what he puts in his body. Again, he's a very experienced, professional in what he's doing, and, because he's built the way he is, and they just say, okay, well, he must be juiced. Well, I have that same kind of build. If I do resistance work, I get very big and very cut very quickly, and I don't take anything, and I never have. And so it's, I know it's really frustrating for him, and it's really frustrating when your opponent refuses to do it. And the reason they put in the press is because, well, you've already been doing it and gotten away with it, so what's the point? I mean, what kind of answer is that? If he's been doing it and he's doing drugs, then it's going to show up on his test. I mean,
exactly. I agree with you. I thought that was really poorly handled by the MMA media, and I was pretty vocal about it. That I don't think MMA media really understands the issue and just how dangerous 2Es for TRT are, the 6-to-1 TE ratio in Nevada. And I find it interesting that they're more angry about GSP doing testing than they are about the Ontario Commission or Toronto not testing for PEDs, particularly I think it's Ontario, but that Hendricks ended up not doing any testing at all. And GSP said, I'll do VADA and I'll do this Nevada thing before cards were canceled. I found that all very curious, but that's, to me, the MMA media is just mere puppets of the UFC. But maybe that's a topic for another show.
It is, and if you know the people at VADA, you know that they're dedicated to what they're doing. We encourage VADA testing. Freddie was the one that recommended to George to go through VADA. It's the same thing we recommended to Ruslan's camp, because we know what we're getting, and we know that they're going to do it in a fair manner for everybody. And, it's not an even playing field out there. Anybody that believes that it is just naive. I mean, there was that report just released out of either Australia or New Zealand. They calculated the percentage chance of a professional athlete getting caught doping is 2.3%. I mean, so how is it not worth it to these guys, right? I mean, the amount of money for a lot of these people at stake. I mean, you look at the debacle that's happened with Alex Rodriguez. I mean, come on. And this is
people acted like Balco was the only one. Yeah, they acted like Balco was the only one, and they're acting like Biogenesis is the only one. And I think with the TRT clinics, you've got at least 5 to 10. We're up against it. We got about 15 seconds left. Gavin, we're gonna have to have you on again, because you're always a wealth of knowledge. I really appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah, sorry, man. We're up at 3:30, so I got home late, but I'd love to talk to you again. Just let me know. Thanks again.
Hey, absolutely. No worries, man. We'll catch up with you. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. And that is this week's episode of Leave It in the Ring Radio, live on the Max Boxing Live Radio Network. Dave had to take off, so I am kind of finishing out the episode. But until next week, don't drink and drive, because you might spill your beer. Peace.